Oops. I am live. It should have said, "Are you sheltering in place?" I am. 2 weeks in, plus. What you thinking about? What you been thinking about? I'm not the only one who's been sheltering in place. How is everybody doing? Being? I hope well. As well as you can. My name is Joseph Earl Walker III. And this is Dreaming Reality with God. Sheltering in Place series. Number 3. This is the third time I've come up here. Oh, I see. I cut myself earlier. It's a mole, so it's a little bit more sensitive. Maybe it'll just fall off at some point. Let me check on the music. I hope it's not overpowering and you can't hear me. Let me turn down just a little bit. I never know. I'm always looking for somebody to say, check. Let me make sure that is live. I think I'm live. Yes. Oh, see, I'm wanting to touch my face. My eye itches. Got a little itch in my eye. I think I'm safe. Okay, that's muted. Let me do this real quick. See if I can do it without putting my glasses on. Sure did. I'm using a little keyboard. My other keyboard's a little bit inaccessible. The camera setup. How's the green screen looking? Other than I get cut off because I'm only capturing a small area. I'd like to have a better screen, like a pull down one, be a little bit easier and make for a better stream. Looks good though. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Corona. Gots to do that. It's happening real time. I haven't checked the numbers. This morning I did real quick. I believe it was around 1 million plus another 250,000 infected. All the numbers rising. They rose here in the county that I live in. Only rose, I believe it was 27 yesterday, and 29 rose to. One death is now being reported. A few have been released and are now back at home. I don't know. Can you go out and about once you've had it? I still think everyone should be wearing a mask. That should have been from the get-go, a mask. Just easy. It's simple. It's cheap. Would have been a lot cheaper in the long run, I think. Just saying. I realize, that pounding away at it, and it's already happened. That can't go back to February, even January. I've been trying to keep my mind clear of all the I don't want to call it conspiracy, because it's all just thoughts, everybody thinking, free thinking, because nobody knows. Because we're not accustomed to being told the truth. So you don't know what to believe, really. Could be, might not be. Who knows? Okay. My mic is not as close as I like it usually. I'm looking to get a stand I can mount it on instead of setting it on my desk or table here. And it's working, and something to shield it from those bursts of wind when I'm talking. Mask. I don't think that I'm unreasonable. I don't think I'm being unreasonable at all. I thought about it, think about it, and that's where my mind rested. It made sense. I don't even want to go out. I can't understand why people would want to go outside. Unless, I guess, you're one of those younger ones that I remember a couple weeks back. There in Florida on the beaches. I just want to get out and have a good time. Which I understand. Dang, there I went and touched my face. It's a hard one. You get that itch, and you're just accustomed to it. I've got hand sanitizer, which I do throughout the day. I'm not getting out, and every time that I have, I've come back, and I'm a little nervous, a little cautious, because you never know. Clearly it's being spread around. I would think cash is a way of passing it. It may not last on it for long periods of time, but I think long enough that you go to the grocery store and you pay with cash and give it to the person at the register who has been there all day taking in cash. If there's people that use cash, I tend to not if I don't have to. But there are. And so this just that your odds are that much higher of catching it, spreading that way. I just, the money. Even without the money, though, because you have your cash or your plastic, your ATM cards and swiping. And there's times when you got to punch in your code, so you got to touch it. I guess this is where you get those people that and bring in the new world order, and let's make it a cashless society. This would be a reason for that. It does, I think, would aid in curbing the spread of something like a virus, some kind of bug. So I understand it from that point of view. I think, though, I can find myself in the bleachers on the other side with the others who are saying, well, hold on there a second. There's some sinister motivation happening here. There's some plan, power. I mean, I look at the world. I've been living here for 53 years. So I have a pretty good chunk of experience in that regard. And I see myself as an observer. I'm paying attention as best I can, and as often as I can, to what's going on around me in the world. I'm not a partier. I've partied. I went to a party or two in my life, but that's not me. That's not something that makes up my itinerary. I don't have a planner, and I'm planning out, where am I going to be at the next social gathering. I spend my time thinking and listening, watching the world pass me by. I suspect there's quite a few people right now that are, to some degree, thinking along those lines. They have the time for it right now. You ain't going to work tomorrow. You're not going to be going to work the day after that. You're not going to be going to work all week long. This is transparency of freedom, by the way, that's playing. Miguel Samuels is the artist, composer. I bought this one. I didn't get this through like the Apple Store or Amazon. It was through some website, though, that I bought. I bought the album. Bluescapes. That's cool. I wrote on my Facebook page earlier today that the word blue just seems to keep popping up for the last 24 hours. I'm watching something and blues theme, or just a word that keeps being said, and I just realized that I wanted to play this song, but I wasn't thinking about the album name was called Bluescape. So the virus. It's spreading around the world. See the world there behind me? It's spreading quickly. And I think that all comes down to it can take a while to have symptoms. It's not like the flu where you get that fairly quickly. It doesn't take long once you get exposed to somebody who has it. And it's like, wham. You can have this and be spreading it, and you feel perfectly fine. So it's hard to detect. Man, my nose. That's... This is insane. That's probably from using that tissue I have. Part of the tissue It's now there, and it's tickling my nose. All the little fibers that make up the tissue. Trying to put it out of my mind. I'm not going to talk too much about the corona. I'm trying to keep these to about an hour. First one was almost 2. The one yesterday was just over an hour. And I'd like to keep this one at an hour. I've already been here for 15 minutes. I can go longer than an hour. I'm not going to hold to that if I'm in a thought, but that's my goal. I'll just mention the mask again, and then I'm going to move on. Because it's Sunday, day of rest. Even though you don't got to go to work tomorrow, I'm still going to kind of keep that frame of mind. And I need to kind of let go of everything that's going on with the coronavirus for a brief moment. And I think that what I'm going to talk about is it's a good time. It's a perfect time to bring it up. It's a time when it makes more sense. As far as the mask go, wear a mask. Because I don't know if you have it, and you don't know if you have it unless you've been tested. I don't want to catch it if you have it. That's all. And if I have it, I don't want to give it to you. I was going to go to the store today. I wanted to, do it all at once. I don't have a car, so it's not like I can drive down and just get a big shopping cart full of stuff. Only what I can carry. So I'm going to get water. I have water right now. But I need more. So I'm going to get water. And some groceries. I mean, I have food right now. It's not like I'm starving or anything. I could eat for the month. Water, though. Maybe some snacks. Not well supplied with snacks. I got plenty of protein. I'm going to try to go tomorrow and do those things and then come back and shelter in place. You don't need to tell me. I don't want to be out and about if this is happening. That's just being smart. I don't get sick very often. I don't. And it's because I don't get out and about. I mean, when I say I'm a loner, I'm a loner. I mean, I've gone months where I didn't talk to a single person. I mean, it's not like I was out in the middle of Timbuktu. I just didn't talk to anybody. Didn't really leave my place unless I had to. Always been kind of in that mode of having enough food to keep me going for at least a month. Try to. Not that that's always possible. We're all in the situation that we're in, and money. Anyway, tomorrow that's my goal. And I will put my mask on and in and out. I'll come back, disinfect myself, take a quick shower, rinse off, change clothes, and then take a deep breath. Check in, see what's going on and what's up. So, in the title of this video, I said, what did I say? Speaking of alone, because we're alone right now. A lot of us are. Holed up in our place, sheltering in. Yeah, I think of, what's that movie? Jack Nicholson, The Shining. Up there in the hotel, in the middle of a storm, all alone. So I feel like it's okay to let your mind wander. Let it just reach out there. Because right now, this moment is unbelievable. It really is. What's happening, the unimaginable. Yet it is happening. Never thought this would happen, but it is happening. So it's a perfect time to open yourself up and reach out for the impossible. Because it just seems like it has more potential to be possible. Because I'm seeing things that I never thought were possible. And not just the virus that's spreading and the economic woes that are coming from it. We're just feeling the ripples. We haven't even gotten to the waves yet. So yeah, anything is possible. I am of the camp that we are not alone. We've never been alone. I don't see this intelligence, because it is intelligent. I don't see it as coming and going. I see it as something that's always here, like the air, space. It's always here, it's always with us. It's just a matter of tuning in the right frequency, the right vibration, and there they are. And I say they because I imagine them as many, but I see them also as having a father, God. They carry God with them. The ones that survive, I think, the ones that move onward, not forwards or backwards, onward. Those guys. Now, that said, and I've said this before in other videos, if this is your first time here, I've been putting videos up for a couple of years. I've had 2 different other channels, but I've taken them down. I have all the videos. But I took them down as I've grown, as I have been influenced by the world around me. I change. Happens to us all. If there were ever a request, I could always pull them up. But I have said, as far as ET goes, and the government. I don't think the government knows as much as the people think they know. I think the government would like you to believe they know, even though I know there's the government doesn't believe in UFOs, they closed down Project Blue Book, yada yada yada, and all that. Again, that's all a part of this image that I feel has been put in place, because I'm not saying the government doesn't acknowledge, at least parts of the government does not acknowledge that there are strange things happening. I think they're very aware. They don't know what it is. And the last thing they're going to do is tell you that. They're never going to tell you that. So, I mean, it just makes so much sense as we've had so many decades of this whole phenomena to now kind of put pieces into place. And it makes sense. Just the progression of the story that has unfolded as far as the government is concerned and UFOs. I mean, you have the term UFO, flying saucer, coined in the same year as Roswell, the UFO that is said to have crashed. Just a month before, you have the first usage of flying saucer in the papers. Kenneth Arnold flying over Mount Rainier. Testing my memory now. It's been a while since I've looked back on all that kind of UFO data. But yeah. And then a month, and you have a crash. And then no crash within days. And then everything that's come since. Again, it didn't matter whether it was real or not. If it was real, the government was never going to tell you it was real from the get-go, because they didn't know what it was. You can say it's real all you want, but we don't know what it is, so we're not going to tell you what it is until we know what it is. Really. That's how it works. So immediately, somebody caught wind of what was going on and said, never happened. That didn't happen. This weather balloon. And that narrative has changed to some degree from both sides, even, the believers and the those that don't believe, government's stance. When it was back in the 90s, they did their government redid their did an overview of the whole case, Roswell, their assessment. And yeah, it was a weather balloon, but it wasn't the same kind of weather balloon they thought it was. This was a top secret weather balloon. Then you just keep going forward, and you now have the government acknowledging that, yeah, there's something out there, okay? Is it craft? You know, I don't know if you can necessarily call it craft. Lights? Yeah. It's a little bit more, though, than lights, just because of the way these things move. They're telling you this. They're not covering it up. At the same time, they're not telling you what it is, because they don't know, and they never have. I honestly, I wholeheartedly feel that. They want to know. I want to know. You want to know. Everybody wants to know. Why would you not want to know? If this is real, if this is happening, this is taking place, and you and I are not alone, you want to know. I do. Back in the 90s, when the government did their re-examination of it, around that same time, a couple of years even before, I was in the mode of, I want to know. I want to know the truth. I feel like this is absolutely ridiculous. And I sat down and I wrote out a petition. I have it in my papers here somewhere. Every now and then I come across it. I always will set it to the side because I want to do something with it, and then it winds up being back in the stack with all the other papers that I pull out from time to time and do that same thing with. Anyway, I wrote a petition. I carefully spent my time thinking it out, wording it, my reasoning for why I felt that the way I felt. I tried to use logic, tried to bring the law into my reasoning, and common sense. And I printed it up and I got people to sign it that were around me. And I sent it out to a few different places that we didn't have the internet back at that point. So like with magazines, books in my collection, you can come across names and address. And so I picked a handful and I sent out my petition with my thoughts of why I was sending it to them. And I did get a call. I got a call back from a lawyer in Washington, D.C. And that was exciting, except that it came at a time in my life when I didn't know where I was going to be. I was lost. I was lost. I had just become separated from the one person that I was married to for a brief amount of time, short time. And this person left with a person that came into my life to help me, to give me guidance and counseling, an ear to listen. And all I got from this person was a conversation of how they had taken acid. That was the big pushing point. They had taken, I can't remember the exact number of hits of acid that he said, but it was less than 100, but it was nearing 100. And that he was the second coming of God. Yeah, I kind of felt uncomfortable and didn't want him there. Apparently my wife, my partner at the time, felt other. She took off with him. it's all good. I am who I am because of everything that has led me here to this point now. The government does not know. They want to know. And I think that that's clear because you're seeing them putting it out there. It's on the table. I'm amazed that there's not more conversation about that, more of a discussion, like more scientists even getting into the conversation, because you're saying what? That you're seeing vehicles, or you're seeing some kind of something that's in the sky, and it makes maneuvers that we can't replicate. A human being most likely wouldn't survive under the conditions that we are aware of as far as transportation from here to there. Where is the discussion? That's what I don't quite understand. Or is it part of a... Now, I'm going to go out there on the limb and spend a little time with those that are out there already. And, maybe it's a psyop. They want you. There's this element, this faction that wants you to think there's something there. Because I didn't see it. Did you see it? Only these pilots saw it. The equipment saw it. We live in a day and age right now where it's like video doesn't really matter anymore, because you can recreate just about anything. Right? Photoshop? I'm just saying. A little over half an hour. I think something is there. I will say that. I don't think that people are hallucinating. I won't say that there are not those people that have that kind of an experience, but as a whole, I don't believe that. I think there's plenty of people out there who are having some kind of an experience, and it's an experience that I think at the heart is beyond physical. It's beyond the physical world. That's why it's so elusive to us. Our mind is in the physical, not so much I like to think of it as the dream state, because I think that that's where you're going to find these guys, call them ETs. That's where they are, and they're always here. This intelligence, this presence is always here. I was thinking earlier, about if they're here, then why don't they come and cure us? I'm always thinking those kinds of thoughts, like, why are they allowing for any of this to happen? Why would you just not step in from the get-go? Like, I've been talking about the mask, wearing a mask, and shutting down a country and locking them down, and having done that back in February. And here I am right now, and I'm thinking about a life form, an intelligence external outside us, and they're looking at us, they're watching us, why are they not intercepting, interacting, giving us a hand? And then I think of God. That is something I have thousands of years of experience with in the lifetime that I've lived here, because there is a history. You know, the world didn't start when I was born. It's been going for thousands of years, and in all that time, it's the same questions then that are being asked now. Pretty much the same understanding. You know, God, what is God? I don't think that people from 3,000 years ago, their idea of God is much different, if any different, than the thoughts of a modern day person. You know, if you can pull away the layers that have built up over the years in our description, the way we express ourselves to get to a certain point, you know, to get from here to there. I mean, 1,000 years ago, you could say here to there. 1,000 years later, that's kind of boring. There's got to be a different way to get from here to there, to say here to there. And in the end, it's the same. It's the same thing. So people's understanding of God I think it's a pretty consistent thing. It doesn't change. We're all looking for the same understanding, the same I just keep it simple. It's understanding. I know it and you know it, and there's no debate. It just is. You accept it, you embrace it, you don't question it. There is no war. Now this ET, which I think is here, this intelligence, this is a lot of intelligence. Intelligences, many. I totally can conceive of that. I think there's something even bigger, though, taking place. That's beyond even that. But I don't want to go there right now. Try to keep it simple. Something is here. It's always been here. Government doesn't know what it is. I'm not saying the government doesn't know anything, or they know nothing. The government is aware. They're asking questions. As far as all of us are concerned, and the internet and the surveillance state, y'all are, you couldn't ask for more as far as looking for leads. You know, like you're a detective and you need lead. All of you, all the information that's flowing. They're here. They're here right now. I tend to focus on communication is happening. That's how intimate I feel the relationship is with this intelligence. That's how close and near they are to all of us. I'm not singling myself out here. They're interested in everybody here. Everybody. I've I've been expressing that, we're all a piece in the same puzzle. And I have never heard of a puzzle that is finished without all of its pieces. That's just the way it is, right? I mean, a puzzle is all the pieces filled in. So they know that. This intelligence is very aware of that concept. And I don't think they look at us and think that I don't know. I can't stand here and tell you what they think. Only they can. I can, though, express an idea, a feeling that I get when I think about them, and I also bring in the experience that I'm having around me, and intimate in that everything that happens around me, there's this communication that's happening. Subtle. I mean, it's not like I'm not looking for like a creature, a being to appear and say something. It's not like that. It's watching TV or listening to music, what comes on, what happens to come on, the timing of it all, with whatever you're thinking, and then what's unfolding on the TV or the music that's playing, or somebody sending a text, or an email coming in, and the nature of that email, whether it's something to get you to buy something, or it's somebody asking you something. I could go on and on. It's every single thing this intelligence is using, all of it. Any possible way that there is a way to communicate to you or I, it's using. I know it sounds crazy. If you think that it sounds crazy. But if you think it's not crazy, it's definitely out there. Left of center. But it makes sense. It makes sense. This intelligence is beyond us. You can't look at it and expect it to behave like you do. If you do, and that's how you're perceiving it, and you're looking for the clues, you're limiting yourself. You're putting up curtains that are shielding the true nature. And it's a hard one. I get it, to put yourself in that state, because you're a human. You've lived a life living as a human, perceiving the world, reacting to it as a human. So it's hard to let go of that when you begin to put your mind in a state where you see them, in a sense. You know them. I don't think they look at us the way we look at ants. I've heard that over the years, over the decades. A lot of scientists will toss that one out there. They could be looking at us as if we were a colony of ants. And I think so. I just don't think so. I think that we're intelligent. We look at ourselves and we think of ourselves as being intelligent. If we go on and continue to grow and evolve. Do you and we have that understanding of where we are in relationship to that ant. You would carry that with you as you evolve and grow, I think. And it would give you a new look on everything. You would see that colony of ants for more than just a colony of ants standing as a human observing it. I just see this intelligence. We're not a colony of ants, okay? We have a lot of potential. We do. I mean, look at us. My mind is blown every day. Just everything that goes on and occurs. A lot of good. It's that bad that needs to find some resolution. You got to figure it out. I have a feeling that that's going to take a lot of truth. I got up there above me the trust. That's a key. Love with trust in forgiveness. Very important. Back to these ETs, extraterrestrials, intelligence. I don't look at them as physical as much as I used to, but I'll keep it simple for right now. The government doesn't know. Gosh, the government wants to know. I mean, I hear all this talk, humans are all over the solar system. Please. I hear that and I just get so... I'm not upset with the people that are telling it. I'm upset with why. Because it just sounds so... I'm trying to think of the nice way to say it. Because it's just wrong. It's like dirty wrong. It just makes me think of that PSYOP crap. They want you to have this image. I just can't understand how humans could do that to the rest of us. Like leave us behind. And they're using ET technology. They've learned how to back engineer some of this alleged craft that crashed in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico. Was it Corona? They don't land on the White House lawn. They don't appear with signs saying, "We are here, get in line." And they never will. I don't see that happening. There's no reason to. I wouldn't. That's like me telling a fish, I'll take a dolphin. That's like me telling a dolphin, you need to come here and exist outside of the water. You need to be on the land. Maybe that's a little too weird to imagine or to get the point across, but they're never coming here. They can't exist here. They're not meant to exist here. I think whatever this intelligence, what it has been able to do is amazing, because there are things that take place that are otherworldly, beyond worldly, beyond time and space, dimensions. There's some pretty weird things that have taken place in the history of this world. The unexplainable still are. It's raining right now. I'm coming up on an hour, 55 minutes. I don't think the government knows. I think the reason, though, that they're coming forward in the way that they are is that they know something is coming that they can't stop. It's inevitable, whether it's something natural or man. I think that, like I was saying, with the technology in the day and age, you can easily, I feel you can pretty easily monitor the discussion that goes on as far as UFOs, ET. And from all of that, you can use your computers to kind of calculate out different scenarios, plot out probabilities. And they can see, because I know they're doing that. I think a lot of us can easily wrap our heads around that. That ability exists. You know, they're listening to you with your phone, or, you know, they can watch you anyway. So they know something is coming that's unavoidable, inevitable. I think it has to do with a lot of things. It's not just UFOs and ET. Like this coronavirus, this pandemic, the spreading of this virus. I think that's all a part of it. I mean, look at us right now. Good majority of us are sheltering in place. Okay? Never has something like this happened in our life. I see it as a way for the system, the institution, to monitor. They're watching us. They're seeing how we react in this situation, because you can take that data and adjust it and apply it to how we would react in a comparable type situation. Just change the variables up a bit. Or are they going to behave? Are we behaving? I mean, for the most part, we are. I've seen a video or two on YouTube. Some police car chases. There was one in Chicago the other day. That one ended in a gnarly crash. But it's a trip to see them driving, and there's not many cars on the road. And then the other one was like a week ago, and I just happened to catch while it was happening. And that was in Los Angeles. And that one was weird too. That one that one ended a lot more peacefully, and there was no crash to the level of the one in Chicago. The person was drunk. And that was the reason why they wanted to stop them. They didn't seem to be driving straight. That was I think it was like an hour long. It was a bizarre one. They weren't really driving like fast or anything. It's just we're not going to pull over, even with blown out tires. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble and rant and wander. It's because I've been here for an hour. I'm going to try and stick to that. I could talk on and on and on about UFOs, ET, intelligence. I feel this intelligence is here right now, and it is giving its all. Contact is happening. It's happening. It's happening with each and every person, every one of you. I'm firm with that. I think the connection is strongest when you sleep. I've been saying that and thinking that for decades. Trying to find the words to explain it without putting fear into another's mind, leaving them thinking that's the last thing I want happening in my mind. Nobody's coming into my mind. Hope everybody's well. Be safe. Wear a mask, please, if you can. Do it for others. If you can't do it for yourself, then do it for others. The others that, you could save a life. Look at it that way, because it's a truth. You could be saving a life. You may never meet that person, but you could find yourself one day sick. You somehow, some way, you got the virus. You did your best, but you got it. It happens. But because you wore a mask when you went out, somebody else didn't, but because you did, you saved a life. The person that you would have spread the virus to. That's kindergarten, bro. Sis. Father knows all. This intelligence. It's God. I see God. There's God behind it all. One. A source. Smile.